Folks, I'm Modelers. I'm back for another build update on the CVN-65 USS Enterprise at 1/350 scale. So this will be part 14, and actually my progress has been a bit slow, and this is not where I want to actually stop, but it has been 2 weeks and I thought it's about time I bring some updates. So let me just explain to you quickly what I have been doing. So a lot of cleaning up has been done. I've filled up all these places, the gaps everywhere, and I've added these decks inside these holes here. So this deck, and for these parts here I did add the railings after I added the piece inside. And there was a step here, so I used the plastic cut so that this surface will be the same, and same goes for this side. And then on this area here I've added these deck with the railings. And for this piece here, you might want to take note that the Edwards foliage instructions tells you to cut 4.5 millimeter, which is what I believe what I did. I did cut this, but when I tried to attach these foliage beams here, it protruded out, so it wasn't far enough. So I had to take this part out again and cut it further. And it was not easy because this was actually super glued, but I did manage to take it out, and so that these beams would fit. So you might want to try to dry fit this and together with this photo wedge before you glue this big piece in there. And at the back here I've added these sponsons. And so for these sponsons here, there was quite a big gaps all around. So I used stretch spruce, filled it in and sanded off a little bit. And same goes for this side here. So this one I had to use some putty, and these have not been cleaned off yet. So it's still work in progress. I'm still halfway, and I didn't want to wait until I finish everything because it could take even longer. And okay, so these ribs here, it did not touch the hull, so I had to use some plastic cuts added in there so that it's touching the hull. And on this side I have added these sponsons and this one. So I think basically all the sponsons have been attached. And for this two piece here, I wanted it to be flush with this surface. This is actually part of the main hull. So there was quite a big step on both sides. So I had to file off a lot. This has been painted once, but there was still some holes there, so I filled it up again. I think the putty is not dry, so I still have to wait for that. And for these sponsons here, I had to add the railings first, then stick this part in, because I think it would be very difficult to put the railings. And there is this one big piece of foliage here, so I don't think these can be attached because the space here is too narrow. And same goes for this one. There's one big piece of something here. And okay, so that's on the hull. And just hang on a minute, I'm gonna flip this ship around, and I will show you the deck. I have cleaned it up, painted it, and thing looks like that. Okay, so for the deck, yes, as expected, especially these two big gap lines here, I had to redo twice, and especially here when I tried to scribe back these lines here, the putty cracked, so I reputted it, and then I decided not to scribe it anymore because I know the putty will keep cracking up. So the surface, yes, is not really flat, and from certain light reflections, I think you can see it's quite wavy. But I don't think I can do any better than this unless I resand the entire surface, which I don't think I will do that. Same goes for this side, little bit of waviness, but all these I think I will do heavy weathering to hide the waviness. And I've painted these catapult lines with steel color, and also this long arrow line. And this long arrow line, let me just show you on my laptop here. So basically there is this line, and this is actually in, I think it's in 1993, and basically that line disappears over time. So in 1995 the line is not there anymore. So I guess, you know, the certain things on the ship changes in different time eras. And also one thing I would like to point out is these bridal recovery horns. I believe that's what it's called. That's what Mike informed me. So these horns here, if you look at it from the side, so this one I have done some modification, and basically now the angle is much lower compared to the original part, which is almost like flat. And so now it's a bit more triangular compared to the original parts. So what I did is cut off there and attached it again. And I will show you here what I'm talking about. So if you look at these drawings, this is courtesy from Mike. So it is actually much triangular, and even if you look at the real ship, it's actually very much triangular rather than rectangle, which is how the original part that comes with the kit. So I think you might want to do a modification on these bridal recovery horns. And I think I did a lot of things here, which when I cut off the nettings, it was actually a bit smaller. So then I had to add back a piece of card on top, and that cut was a bit too thin, so I added more beams all around. And then it was quite difficult to get this part really, like, you know, without any gaps, because there is gaps if you just attach the parts. So this part had to be sanded, cleaned. Then I added these 0.5 beams again, because the original piece I have shaven it off. And my color scheme is based on the older version, which is the dark gray and then the light gray. But if you're doing the newer version, I think from 2000 onwards, this entire recovery horn is this, the hull's color. So that will be easier because you can just mask here and paint the whole thing. For me, I had to paint the dark gray first, mask the entire thing, and then paint the light gray. So yeah, a lot of work went into that bridal recovery horn. And okay, another thing I want to point out, which I think for me it was quite important, is so I've cleaned up this surface because there was a big gap line over there. And then I added this 0.5 beam. I'm not sure if it's noticeable. So the original kit looks like that. There's the deck and this doorbell piece. And I'll show you why it looks like that. In fact, I think I had some photos somewhere around here. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about here. There's a very thin line of that deck that can be seen, and I think this will be very noticeable. So this entire surface is actually flat. So if you don't do anything on the original kit, it's not gonna look like that. So I have done for elevator 2, this is 2, 3. I've done it for the 3, and also for this this side here. But this one I have left it because I'm gonna raise the elevator deck. And for this elevator deck number 4, there is something additional which I have done also. And I've actually added quite a big piece of cards to fill in. It is actually hollow until the doorbell over there. But when I checked some photos, there was not many photos on elevator number 4. But there was one ship. I'm not sure if it's the Enterprise, it could be the Nimitz, but it did show something like this. Basically, the surface was like on the outside. And I believe all aircraft carriers probably, they should have a similar design. I don't think the Enterprise would be hollow over here. So I hope this is correct. And for this one, I'm gonna lower the deck because now with this thing added, the elevator deck cannot be sitting up. And then I noticed again for Edward's photo edge set, this deck is supposed to be on the upper level. But anyway, I think I can just lower it. Shouldn't be any problems, since there are beams here anyway that can be seen. So those are a lot of the things which I was working on. And these jet blast deflector holes here, I have painted it in white. And in fact here, inside here, there is this photo etch piece. So this photo etch piece, I have painted it in white. Not sure if the light is too bright. And little bit of filing on the edges was necessary so that it would fit in. And same goes for this too. And for this one, I will close it because there is no photo etch sets provided. And this one is actually a plastic plate that I made because the original plastic piece was a bit too small and there was quite a big gap all around. So I had to remake this one and fit you know, now it fits better. So yes, I've been doing all that, and then let me just move to my workbench here, because I want to show you these. These are the jet blast deflector plates. So the way I did it is I painted everything in white, then I masked here, and I painted this in the deck color, which is the dark gray. And the reason why I painted it first is because once this piece is folded, I believe it is very difficult to paint this, to mask the entire piece, because basically this piece, once it's folded, some areas are going to be a bit hollow because it's showing these ribs. So I painted this first, and okay, so yeah, this is how it looks like. So now I can start folding these. And for these deflector plates, I found a site that shows a lot of, let me just move back to my laptop, and I think there are a lot of photos of these deflector plates. So I noticed it looks very white to me, white color. So for the Kitty Hawk, I did some silver color, but then, you know, it will become very dirty. So I think it's okay. Later, a lot of weathering will be done. And there was one photo showing that this part to be like red in color, but I'm not sure for which ship. Could be the newer ships. So I think this site has a lot of these deflector plate photos, which I referred to. So that's a good site. And so this, yeah, but these deflector plates, I will definitely have to do this maybe almost at the last stage, because I know I will have to flip this ship upside down many times, you know, when I work on the rest of the other things. So if the deflector plate is up, I cannot sit this ship upside down. So the plan is I'm gonna open this tree because photo H is provided, and then I'm gonna close this one here. But I think this will be attached probably at the last stage. So so all sponsons are there. I'm very afraid about this sponson because in fact, the moment I stick it, I touch these railings again and I broke it. So I might have to put some protective cover at the back, at the stern area here. So now I can do the rest of the things because the main hull is completed. Now I can do all the smaller things on all these edges here. But I'm thinking if I should do decal first, because once things starts to stick out, it's gonna be very difficult to stick all the deck decals. And I think for the deck decals, I believe I showed you this. I'm gonna be using this Starfighter decal, which is this. I showed this to you before, but this instruction is very strange because see, this doesn't go all the way to the back, but I've seen the photo, it goes all the way to the back. It's a little bit strange here and there, and these white lines here, it's not supposed to be like that. I think if we look at this especially the decks, I believe, like, okay, this is I think this is a good photo. So yeah, it's not actually parallel. So I don't know, I'll probably have to do a lot of testing before I stick them up. But this instruction is not very good. So yeah, maybe I'll do decal, then start working on all the things on the sides, which is, you know, the fragile things. And I think the main things at the bottom here, I think everything should be there. And also I'll have to start working on all the elevated decks, which I have also got it painted, but I'll have to stick all the photo etch on the bottom here. So still a lot of really a lot of things to do. I'm not sure how it will, if it will go with my plan. But anyway, this is the update that I have for now. If I start doing decal, probably by next week I can at least show you one update. Otherwise I'll be working on some of the other things on the site first. So I hope this was some good explanations. I know it's a bit halfway, but I hope you enjoyed it, and hope you like it. So just give me, you know, if you like it, maybe you can subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and, you know, maybe share the video, and we'll come back for more updates. So until then, happy modeling, and cheers for now. Goodbye.